All right, good afternoon. I'm meteorologist Alexandra Cranford at WWL Louisiana. We're getting you an update on what's happening with our weather. I had our temperatures pulled up for a minute, and we have seen a big drop in temperatures because of rain. We actually also have 2 flash flood warnings in effect, and we're just getting you the update on what's happening with these. One issued much earlier this afternoon, about an hour or so ago, covers New Orleans east into the city, and another one until 6 p.m. covers a big chunk of Metairie and another large section of New Orleans, and even a little bit of the West Bank here around the Bridge City kind of area. And you can see it extends into uptown New Orleans too. So these are our 2 flash flood warnings in the bright shaded green area. If you do have to travel about in any of these spots, just be aware there could be some spots that are filling up with water because of just some spotty, pretty heavy downpours. This is our radar loop, and you can see it goes back an hour, and you can see the changes that we've seen with the landscape as far as the rain goes over the city of New Orleans and the metro area itself. Those of you around Gretna, Marrero, Harvey, Tarrytown, Algiers, all of you getting some downpours right now. Also edging into part of uptown, the Garden District, and very close to the French Quarter in spots like that, and a little bit into St. Bernard as well around Chalmette. Also, we have another wave of rain that's moving on the other side of the West Bank, so the farther West Bank. You can see that again approaching Bridge City and around Wagaman, and not far from West Wego. Spots like River Ridge and Jefferson will be right on the edge of this as it continues moving off to the north and then into, of course, Metairie and toward the lakefront. So these are not the heaviest downpours. We've been measuring the rainfall rates up to maybe 1 inch or 2 inches per hour, but just a heads up, this is an active time at 3:30 where people are traveling about, driving, getting home from work, or heading to out after school or work events, and we are seeing the potential maybe for some street flooding in spots. Another location that we're seeing some rain is around Houma, Schriever, Gray. All of you getting some downpour activity. This is all moving to the north though, so thankfully we haven't seen the situation where you have just one giant cell setting up all afternoon. It's all been moving a little bit. So we are seeing that here, and we've had some around Thibodaux as well. I wanted to show you also the North Shore because there is some scattered rain north of Lake Pontchartrain as well. In fact, a severe thunderstorm warning just issued in Pearl River County for this cell that's moving to the north. These cells have been bringing lightning and heavy rain, brief heavy rain, but also the potential for hail and gusty winds. So we are seeing that again moving to the north, not far from Poplarville. Actually, Poplarville is a little closer to another spotty thunderstorm right now, but it'll pass just to the east, it looks like, of Bogalusa, right along the Mississippi state line, almost into Louisiana there. Also, there's been a big stretch of showers and storms around Baton Rouge. So just as we were saying in our last update, this was heading toward Baton Rouge in the 3 p.m. hour. We have indeed seen it move in, and you can see lightning strikes with that system. We have some heavier rain, but radar returns are kind of showing it weakening a bit perhaps in the past maybe 10-15 minutes, and also showing a little decrease in lightning, especially farther south. So we will see with that cell what happens there, but it does look like it might be beginning to break up a bit and start to weaken. This is our big picture view. Again, if you're joining us from different spots, we have a little bit of spotty rain in some coastal areas like around Galliano, but really most of it happening at the moment right around the New Orleans metro area, with a lot of commuting taking place, and also not far from Thibodaux and Houma in our bayou parishes, and then also that severe warning with that cell outside of Picayune moving off to the north there. So how much rain have we gotten? These were a few of our rainfall totals so far today. The City Park area recorded over 3 inches of rain. Gentilly about 2.5 inches. Parts of the lakefront near 1 inch or more. Pines Village, New Orleans East, about 1.5 inches, and the Desire area about 1 inch or a little bit more. So certainly enough when that comes pretty fast to cause some street flooding issues. We didn't see a whole lot of reports coming from the New Orleans site streetwise, so hopefully everything kind of held together and people able to get around okay. But just a big heads up, that's why those flash flood warnings are going to be in effect until 5:30 to 6 p.m. To account for any more downpours that come, drop a good bit of rain, and then finish up and leave maybe some street flooding issues here and there. For a little bit of a more detailed look, we have a few minutes here. We'll look at the bigger picture, and even early this morning, if you're watching our news, we were having, Peyton was tracking these showers and storms off to the west. These are now getting pretty close to Lafayette. We are also, though, looking at the showers and storms that are cropping up locally, just popping up with the daytime heating along with moisture. And also we've had a weakness in our atmosphere that's really helped lift to form, help all these showers and storms to initiate in the afternoon when we see that heating take off. Let's move into our model here. This particular model, our high-res model, not doing the greatest job. This is 3:30 p.m., but it does show the storms around by 4, and then this is around sunset, still some scattered rain, and it actually begins to bring in that rain that right now is close to Lafayette, and it spreads it over us as we head past sunset. So this is one night. Normally we see these showers and storms kind of finish up often in the evening, and then we're drier at night. But this is one evening and nighttime that we may actually still have some rain around. So just a heads up there. Moving through the overnight, it could be somewhat quieter for many spots, although this model hinting at a lot of coastal showers and storms, maybe right out over the northern Gulf. And then this is tomorrow. This particular model waits until the evening to bring in some stronger showers and storms, some downpours. But I was showing you another model, our precision cast model. Let me pull that one up for you. It actually has a different scenario where it has some rain moving in for the morning to start the day Thursday. For example, Thursday 7 a.m. It does have rain around north of the lake, sweeps it through. Lunchtime still has some scattered rain, still has some through the afternoon at 5 p.m. and then things quiet down by Thursday night. Then we get a surface front more immediately in our area for Friday, so it will be approaching and moving in. It looks like the second part of the day Friday. Here are some showers and storms with it. Friday 4 p.m. still some rain, and then here comes the front, and this will change our weather pattern for the weekend. We'll look for a much drier feel, a drier setup, very slim to no rain chances for Saturday and Sunday. And actually just looking at that weekend forecast, this is what we have to look forward to. We're ending May and starting June, Saturday and Sunday. So this will be a really nice little treat for a lot of us to get some lower humidity, not extremely low, but I think we'll be able to notice that nice break. And then Sunday it goes up a little bit, but still looking good. And if you're north of the lake, you could have some coolish mornings in the lower 60s, lower 70s south for the mornings. Just looking at our severe risk really quickly to highlight what we're looking at as we go ahead in time here. These showers and storms, we're not expecting widespread showers and storms that are all turning severe, but we do have that potential. So today we are at the level 2 or 1. Yellow and green is level 2 and level 1 for severe weather. Tomorrow we'll be at that low end marginal risk for severe storms. Same thing on Friday, and we'll be watching just like we are right now for gusty winds, possibility of some hail, and it does look like there would be a much lower risk for an isolated tornado, more so the damaging wind gust potential and maybe some hail. So we already tracked all that. One thing I wanted to point out also is just how much this has helped with temperatures heading into this week. Of course, we highlight the threats. We have some hazards as far as, street flooding potential and things like that. But also for a lot of us, it really translates into just very pleasant kind of feeling weather because we get that huge break in the temperatures. We're at 79 in New Orleans. It's still muggy, of course. We've got rain around, but look at this, 75 at downtown. Now, where there's not rain, for example, Bay St. Louis, you're at 90 degrees, but a lot of us will take some beneficial rain for our gardens, our plants, our yards, and then also the big break in temperatures after you do get one of these showers and downpours. So it could potentially be a nice evening. There will still be rain around, but if you happen to be in a spot where you're not looking at the scattered rain right over you, might not be a bad evening for a walk or something outdoors. Feels like temperatures still pretty high in the lower 80s for a lot of spots, or close to 100 for areas that are not getting the rain, like Bay St. Louis, Gulfport, Houma, Morgan City, all looking and feeling very hot. But in any case, we are looking at the break in temperatures probably tomorrow too, after we get any scattered showers and downpours. It'll be feeling much nicer. And then with the front for the weekend, that should hold our temperatures in the 80s as well. So might be into next week before we get that really more typical summer setup. Although, man, it was feeling hot earlier this morning, I can confirm. warm even before we really got going with the daytime heating. So again, just to recap, we have the two flash flood warnings. This one on the right-hand side until 5:30, and then one issued a little later till 6 for a big chunk of Metairie and a lot of New Orleans and New Orleans East. And so just a heads up, if you're driving around, you'll want to watch out for any sort of low-lying areas, the spots you know of that tend to fill up with water. Again, we haven't gotten a whole lot of reports, but the potential will be there through the rest of this evening and into tonight. We'll have more if needed coming up on WWL+. We'll also have our newscasts on WWL at 5, 6, 6:30 on WUPL and 10 p.m. And again, we'll have more for streaming for you as we get more detailed and more time to look and get a little bit more detailed with some of these forecasts when you join us on streaming. So thanks for joining. We'll see you later. Take care.